Day 3, Sunday, and spectators watched the 16 highest scoring qualifiers run their dogs in the double gather final. But the course had a tricky dimension to it. I spoke to Ellen Cran. Ellen, this has been a great event. I've enjoyed it, and I think everybody else has as well. How different has it been this year to last year?
I think the main thing for us as an organization of the trial has been the course. So it's been a bigger challenge, I think, than last year, because we had an extra field that was separated from the main field by a ditch. So Erik Groot designed a bridge from the main field to the field next to it, so we could have a double gather. And the second bunch of sheep were on the field next to the main field. So the handlers had to send out their dogs for the second bunch of sheep over the bridge. And looking at the smiles of all the handlers, that was like a very big challenge. And when they made it, I think even when they did really good or not so good, that the dogs found the sheep, I think was the biggest difference of last year, and also what made handlers feel that they accomplished something, the points being good or not. And I think one handler didn't make it, and the rest, some did it a bit easier, some had a bit more trouble, but it even looked like when they had more trouble, the greater the laugh was when they came off the field, because they did it anyways.
Tizi Terpstra Moss thinks his master's commands are leading to nowhere. Most of the other dogs were the same. After a lot of time and points lost, he finds a bridge and fetches the sheep. They did very well to finish 9th and within the time. Without the trouble at the bridge, they'd have been very close to the top. Jagna Hansen with a Tussug Kate from Norway. Things are going very well. Joe's command for the turn back was quickly acknowledged by Kate, and like a dog on a mission, off she went. No bridge for Kate. She disappeared down the dike. Must have swum, and across the fields, almost out of sight. We're miles away now. Down another dike. Thought she was going for the cows. I don't think I was far wrong. You can just see a little speck darting about before she finds a way through. But somehow she found the sheep. The two groups were merged together quite nicely for the drives. The dog is working really well throughout the drives. Very good turns around the gates. Joe got a good start in the shedding ring. Nearly lost a red collar. Nicely blocked by Kate.
Thank you. Well, Hansen.
That score took Joe and Kate into 3rd place. Serge van der Sweep with Gary. This is the go back. And again, Gary. Like nearly all the others, he found it difficult to locate the opening to the bridge. Then, all of a sudden, he sets off in the correct direction, but not over the bridge. He slips past the bridge on this side and swims the dike. He's now surrounded by dikes and heading in the wrong direction. Serge manages to correct this and gets him heading off to the right, straight into another dike. You can see the water flying off him. They're quite deep.
Because I use every time I have an idea, so I see, from home that the people are there, and I use that because then I know that there's only there.
There's not much to say about the remainder of this run, except that, apart from the outrun for the second lot of sheep, Serge developed this into an excellent round. Top-class shepherding, through the drives, shed and the pen. You can judge for yourselves through the edited stages of this run. The maximum score available for a faultless run would be 500. On this, the final trial. This was a score that took Serge into second place with Gary. Joe Agner Hansen with Cisco. We joined the winning run at the fetch gate after Joe had scored 60 out of 60 on the outrun and 30 out of 30 on the lift. Cisco responds positively to Joe's go back command. I asked Joe if it was a difficult course.
Yeah, it was a big course and difficult to see the bridge on the second outrun and see where the dog actually cross over. So yeah, it was difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think yours was one of the few dogs that actually found it quite quickly and went through.
Yeah, I thought the dog was in the ditch behind the bridge, but yeah, they told me afterwards it was in the right spot. Yeah.
It must be very difficult to actually judge the distance from where you're standing.
Yeah, we have to rely much on the dog, and Cisco and Kate are used in the daily work at the farm, so they are experienced handling sheep and work at the distance. So you have to rely on the dog, and it's good to have a good experience older dog. Yeah.
How old is Cisco?
11.
At home, What sort of terrain did Joe work his dogs on at home? Sort of terrain? This is very flat here.
It's mountain. We bring the sheep up in the mountain to grass in the summer, and it's soft mountains, but not too steep. So it's we use the dog on big distance nearly all the time when we gather the sheep. Yeah.
So he'll be used to the go back signal.
Yeah, we use it all the time. Yeah, because it's when we gather the sheep, it's always come new sheep behind us again. So we have to look back for them. Yeah.
What do you think about the type of sheep here?
I like them because we have heavy sheep in Norway, so they aren't so similar to our sheep actually. Yeah.
They seem to travel a little bit slower when they're in the doubles, when you've got a large group of sheep.
Yeah, that's normal. That the bigger flock needs more push to go on. Yeah. So yeah.
So where is it from here? Where's your next event?
It will be the Nordic Championship in Denmark, end of August, and we have the Norwegian Cup trials. Yeah, and we have the Continental Championship in Italy in September. So looking forward to that. Yeah.
Oh, well, good luck with that, and thanks very much for giving me your time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
After the fetch, the group made a dash to join the first group, which were now in the bottom right corner of the field. However, it wasn't long before Cisco had them all back together for the start of the drives. This dog has boundless energy for an 11-year-old. Most of the full run can be seen on a separate video, listed with this one on the CSJ K9 website. The drives were good, except for here at the last set of gates. Most of the sheep failed to go through. Joe took his time in the shedding ring. He could afford to because of the time he had in hand. By the end of the shedding, he'd used up most of the time he'd gained from having that good outrun across the bridge.
Yeah. Agner, Hansen.
Joe had won with Cisco by a margin of 10 points. He also took third place with Tussock Kate. Wet weather marred the prize giving a little bit, but didn't dull the spirits of Judge Andy Jackman from expressing some good old English humour.
If I could just say, without picking out too many people, Eric, this has been one of the best, if not the best, trials. No, it can't be the best, because the English National 3 years ago was the best. Because I organised that. However, second to that, fair play, this has been an exemplary trial. I can't find anything to complain about, which for me is something.
The humour continued from trials guest Jim Easton, who clearly enjoyed the whole event and all the VIP benefits.
And I would just like to mention the two ladies that has looked after the four of us and driven me about. And I'll bet they're saying tomorrow when we get on the plane, thank God them bees is away home. Thank you all very much.
Second place went to last year's outright winner, Serge van der Sweep, with Gary. Coincidentally, Serge and Gary finished second last year as well. This year the competition was won with a combination of first-class shepherding and the experience of an 11-year-old dog with amazing stamina for its age. Life in the old dog yet, as the saying goes. I think he'd agree,